She was the goddess of dawn, and she fell in love with mortal men quite a few times. She would abduct them and hold them, sometimes against their will. Hey everyone, it's TJ from Every Story Begins With Us. I enjoy telling the stories of those little-known people and their great big accomplishments from all over the world. I hope you enjoy these stories just like I do, and I may butcher a few names along the way. So here we go. The story of the Great Trojan War has been told many times throughout history. In fact, it is one of the most popular stories from Greek mythology, the Trojan War and the story of Achilles. But is the story of Troy true? It was believed to be a myth for centuries until the ruins of Troy were discovered in 1871. Troy is located in what is present-day Hizarlik, Turkey. Now, the Trojan War lasted for 10 years, from 1194 BC to 1184 BC. And so many famous characters came out of that story. But a major part of the story is often left out, and that is the major role the Ethiopian king played, King Memnon. King Memnon was a demigod. His father was a prince from Troy, and his name was Tithonus, and his mother was Eos, the goddess of dawn. Eos was the daughter of the Titan Hyperion and Thera. Eos is also the sister of the sun god Helios. Now, Eos fell in love with mortal men quite a few times. She would abduct them and then hold them, sometimes against their will. One of her most preferred lovers was the Trojan prince Tithonus. She gave him the gift of immortality, but she failed to give him the gift of eternal youth. As a result, he aged for eternity without dying. Now, Eos bore a child to Tithonus. He was the bronzed-armed Memnon, the great king of Ethiopia. Memnon said he was raised on the coast of Oceanus by the Hesperides. Memnon was not just the king of Ethiopia, he was also a great warrior and a man of honor, and he was considered to be the equal of Achilles in skill. During the Trojan War, where the city was attacked by the Achaeans or Greeks, Memnon decided to join the war. So he led his troops to Troy to help defend Troy against the Greeks. When he arrived in Troy with his army, it is said that they were described as too big to be counted. Upon his arrival, a huge banquet was held in his honor. Memnon and the present king of Troy at that time, Priam, sat around during this big feast and exchanged war stories, and he became quite favored by King Priam, and Priam believed that Memnon would be Troy's savior. But Memnon was very humble, and he stated that his strength will be seen on the battlefield. Well, the next day, the battle began. During the battle, Memnon kills Antilochus, who is the son of one of the Achaean princes named Nestor. You see, Antilochus killed Memnon's friend and comrade Aesop, so Memnon killed him in response. And Nestor, his father, tried to fight Memnon in revenge for killing his son Antilochus. But Memnon, being the man of honor that he is, refused to fight Nestor out of respect. He felt that it would not be right or just to fight an old man. So Nestor goes to Achilles and begs him to fight Memnon on his behalf to avenge his son Antilochus's death. So when Memnon heads to the Greek ships, he is confronted by Achilles and the battle ensues. Both men were wearing divine armor, and both men were also well liked, well loved, and well honored by the great god Zeus. So Zeus made both men tireless and large on the battlefield so that the whole battlefield could watch the demigods clash. Now, Memnon managed to draw blood from Achilles, a feat that no one else had been able to accomplish. But that was not enough to save Memnon, because Achilles then stabs Memnon through the heart. Upon Memnon's death, his army flees in fear. Now, to honor Memnon, the gods collect all of the drops of blood that fell from his body, and they use them to form a humongous river. And it is said that this river, every year on the anniversary of Memnon's death, begins to have the smell of flesh. Another thing miraculous from Memnon's death is that his fellow Ethiopians who did not flee, who stayed by his side after he was killed so that they could bury him properly, they were turned into birds called Memnomides, and these birds stayed by his tomb to remove any dust that gathers on it. Now, the story of Troy and the Trojan horse is world famous, but the story of the great African king and son of a prince of Troy is not often told. He had a major battle with Achilles, yet he is left out of movies and books and a lot of the ancient Greek mythology stories. Memnon was a very skilled warrior and a humble and honest man, and his hidden story has slowly been put together by historians and brought to life. Was he real? Was Achilles real? Were any of the people involved in this story real, like Helen? Well, only time can bring out the truth, one way or the other. So guys, that's it for today's video. And as always, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment on what you think about today's story. I'll see you soon.